Hey everybody, Super Bowl Sunday's coming up, another one, and we're gonna do some wings. I've got access to an air fryer, so I'm gonna try this out. But first, we're gonna work on our wings. Like I always do with wings, or anything chicken to get the skin crispy is, you gotta keep it dry when you fry. You gotta remember that stuff. So here's wings, this is 3 pounds, so you can do less or more. They're gonna be wet or moist. These ones have the tips on it, which is fine. You can have the ones that are cut. I like this, I have these. I'm gonna do these because they're bigger, and I like the meatier wings. If there's excess skin, just take that off. So as you can see, they're a little bit wet here. So what we're gonna do is take paper towels and dry them out. And this is the one way to do that, because we have to, because if it's gonna be wet, it's not gonna be good. So as I'm doing that, take a lot of paper towel and just be careful like that. And in a nice bowl, and we're gonna just pat these dry. And you can see they're drying out now. And that's what we wanna do. So to get a nice crisp exterior when we use the air fryer, or even if you do use your oven, I think it does better and keeps it nice and crispy. So we're gonna go a tablespoon per pound. So that's 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna do that just like that. And then now, gonna give it a toss and dry them out. Not dry them out, but basically it's gonna get a nice coating on there, and that's gonna help. So then we're gonna just toss that, toss that, toss that. See, it's kind of adhering to it. Just like that, nice little cornstarch, and you can smell the garlic, granulated garlic in there. And then we're gonna put it on a rack that I have ready here. So the reason why we're gonna do this is so the chicken's not sitting on the pan directly, and any moisture that comes up will like touch it and make it wet. So we're gonna do this so it can circulate the air. And so we wanna keep this, you know, a few hours in there. I'm just gonna keep it in there for like 3 hours just to get more dry. So sometimes even I've roasted chicken and then you get the skin nice and dry and you leave it in the walk-in, and that air from the fan will keep it nice and dry, which keeps it crispy. So like I said, dry to fry. So these are right here like that. Make sure they're nice even coating. You get some residue in the bowl. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I got a nice even coating on these, see, and then tap them off just like that. So that's a good one right there. And then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Let me just wash my hands because it's got chicken stuff on it. Okay, so all things in cooking, you should try to prep ahead. I've made some space in the fridge, just like that. Whoops, a little creaky there. I'm gonna fit that in right there and let that chill there for at least a few hours. I'm gonna go like probably 2 hours, 3 hours. Longer, you can do it, but we're gonna give this a go. Okay, wings are coming out. See, they're looking nice and dry, and that's what we want. And then I'm going to quickly spray the screen on the air fryer just so it doesn't stick. Now, you want air circulation since it's convection, so you want the air to go around it, because if it all sticks together, it's not gonna get the air in the right places and not dry properly. So for just getting crisp sake, these are really large wings. I'm gonna fit 3, 4 in there. So like I said, it is pretty compact, but it saves you a lot of mess. So we're gonna come over here and put that in there, and we're gonna set it down a little bit, the temperature. So temp, we'll go about 375. And then we'll hit that. And then for time, I'm gonna go long, because these are gonna take a while because they're a little bit thicker. So we're gonna wanna cook them first, and then we're gonna crisp them up later. And here we go, and I'll show you how this goes. So every like 5 minutes or so, just give it take it out, give it a little shake, and then if you need to, you can flip them around. But see, they're nice and dry, which is gonna help the crisping process go. So I'm gonna leave them like that a little bit and keep them going. And while they're still going, let me get that wing tucked in there, we are going to, or I am going to start a sauce. And here we go. So I'm gonna start this on a pan, and mine's a little bit different. I'm gonna add some Asian ingredients to it. But first I'm gonna take 1 clove of garlic, this is a large one, and basically mince that up first. Give it a little crack like that. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of butter. I got 4 here. I'm gonna add 1 here. Kind of low heat, I don't want it to burn. I just want it to kind of get melted so I can watch through the garlic and let it go. Okay, so I've got a tablespoon of butter melting, so I'm just gonna sweat this out. No color, and just kind of release some of the flavor. I also got granulated garlic on the wings too, but as you can see, I like garlic on my chicken wings. So let that go like this a little bit. Swirl that around. I'm gonna stir that up. Smells delicious. Nothing like that smell of garlic toasting slightly in a pan. All right, now we're gonna turn that on low. And basically I'm gonna shut it down. Red hot, your favorite hot sauce? So probably about 1/4 cup. Maybe a little bit more. Just to get that going here. Now, if you want it a little spicier, you can add cayenne to it, a little bit more. I'll add a little pinch, you make it a little bit spicier. Just that, little you know, like I said, you can always put more in, but you can't take out. Then for the Asian part of this recipe, I'm gonna add Korean chili paste, or Korean chili Kochujang. So basically I'm gonna add like a teaspoon of it to there, just a little bit to get it going. And I also add a little bit of soy sauce there, just a teaspoon as well, just to give it that nice flavor. And there we go. I'm gonna add more butter to it. So I'm gonna turn the heat back onto it, kind of like a medium-high heat. Stir that around. Make sure it's incorporated. And then the butter helps kind of give it that nice fat and dairy kind of creaminess that'll coat the wings nicely while they're cooking. So you can work on this while the wings are still cooking, and then set this aside until you're ready to toss. I need to add one more thing. I kind of taste it. I want a little bit of sweetness to it. So a teaspoon either of honey or light brown sugar. You can use dark brown too, but I just have light brown, so I'm going to do that and let that swirl, and then we're going to wait till the wings cook. Okay, I just took these out. These are worth the 375 at 30 minutes because you don't want a undercooked wing. So look, they're getting nice and crispy. So I'm turning them over. With this much space, you don't have to move them around as much. And probably you don't have to spray the grill because they were pretty dry. Only if they're kind of wet, they will stick. So we're gonna put this in and then turn it all the way up, crank it all the way up to the highest setting on temperature, which is 400 on this machine. And then we're gonna set it for like 8 minutes just to get a nice crisp up. And then we're gonna toss it in sauce and share that with everyone. Okay, so the wings just finished at the 400-degree mark. So see the fat gets on the bottom, so you don't want to dump it. You want to just take your tongs, pull them out. You can hear that nice and crispy, nice and delicious and cooked all the way through. If you want to make sure, you can always test it with a thermometer, but definitely with that temperature and time. 165 is poultry temperature, FYI. So I got the sauce here on the stove that we had earlier. So I'm gonna just warm it up a little bit. So just stir it around. It will break a little bit because of the butter, but that's okay. So we're just gonna heat that up just a little bit and go right into our, enough for 4 wings. Can you see how hot that is? It's sizzling right there. So that's gonna be good for those amount of wings. Obviously I made enough sauce for the amount that we were preparing for earlier. Give them a toss. Get those tongs again too. It's gonna be helpful. Just like that, nice little coating. Make sure they get all on there. Just like that. So here's one of them. Plate that up. And in that so in that ramekin, I have the blue cheese dressing that goes really well with wings, as everyone well knows. Get a nice coating of that on there. Give a little presentation. Use my hands in a moment. I want to toss these just like that. And there you go. Air fried chicken wings or buffalo style wings with my twist to it. So enjoy. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday, or any day for that fact. It's gonna be really hot. Here, listen to that. Nice and crisp, nice and cooked. You don't want those, you know, that red spots in the wings. Delicious.